Hey YouTube, Tutu UK, CEX, what's it all about? Are they Dow boys? Are they legit? Are they scammers? Are they rip-off merchants? Should buyers beware? And all that kind of stuff. Probably a lot different to some of the videos out there. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't really checked. But I'm going to champion them. I'm going to stand in their corner. Fly the flag for CEX somewhat. And look to maybe explain away a few things. Give some context around a few things. I'm going to try and keep it concise and short. It's not going to be extensive. I haven't watched all of those videos, all the bashing videos. To be honest, I watched one or two of them and it was enough. That's all I could stomach. There was holes in a lot of the stories and suggestions. I'd even debate if some of these people have even used CEX, to be honest, and they're just getting off on the hype train, which is a shame, really. Because I think it may turn out not for the best. So I'm going to have a couple of points from the few videos that I've watched. I haven't watched all of them, and to be honest, not extensively. A lot of it is all legal terms, legal jargons. I'm not going to get into the legality of what they're doing is legal or not, which is what a lot of people are riding on the back of. I think that's getting away from the point. Especially from where my angle that I'm coming from as a retro gamer collector, and obviously an avid gaming fan, retro gaming fan. So I just want to try and, like I say, put a bit of context around some of the arguments, less so against the legal side, because I can't argue that I'm not legal. I'm not a solicitor, I'm not a legal. I wouldn't know. But put more into real terms that people understand. How it affects you, what the impact, that kind of stuff. I'm saying probably just explain from as best I know, and again, this is only my views on it, sort of part of their process and why things are the way they are, because some people probably don't understand it, and there's a lot of confusion, especially some of these videos that they don't make it clear. So try and keep it concise. I'm not trying to waffle on too long as best I can. So the first real talking point is fake cases. CEX are making fake cases. No, they're not. They're not making fake cases. So what they are doing is reprinting inserts. So they're reproduction inserts. They're definitely doing that. Okay. What you got to remember, guys, they've been doing it for years. It is old news. This is nothing new. And this is one of the real things that grinds my gears. A lot of these people are just jumping on a fucking bandwagon. The people that have been using CEX for any number of years will know this. It is nothing new. Okay, the reprinting of the inserts has been done for years. PS2, as long as I've been using CEX, I've been doing it. So the reasons why, the case has been stolen, lost and or damaged. The lost and or damage, I probably think maybe a small percentage. Big chunk is definitely them being stolen. Believe it or not, yes, it does happen. I go retro game hunting, which I'm sure many of you do, and people steal discs out of charity shops. So what makes you think they're not going to steal an empty case from CEX? Now, whether or not it's on the scale that people suggest or not, or otherwise, I don't know. But I'll give you an example of how it wouldn't work if it wasn't the case that they were being stolen, and for whatever reason, CEX have a stockpile or a source of loose DS games, because I think DS is the main one. DS is DS and 3DS are the ones that have been bandied about quite a lot in terms of the reproduction inserts. So if I was to walk into CEX now, and I've got a few props here, and say, how much would you give me for this game here? They'd say nothing. We don't take loose cartridges, right? So they don't take loose DS, they don't take loose 3DS or 2DS or whatever. So where are they sourcing these from? Are they job lot buying them off eBay? It's not really a good business model, is it? Because that's not how they operate. It's very much a buy and sell business in terms of stuff comes in and it goes out the door. They're not wholesaling. So yeah, they don't buy loose cartridges. Obviously, in terms of the case, so if the case gets stolen, obviously this is American, it's just a DS case, I say, just as a prop. If that gets stolen, what they're left with on the shelf, behind the counter, is that. So they're probably buying third-party actual cases themselves, printing out the insert or photocopying the insert or whatever they've got. And the thing is as well with their reproductions, they're not very good quality. Anyone other than mum and dad, anyone who's into gaming can spot them a mile off. You know, honestly, they're not that good. So yeah, and obviously all they're doing then is lobbing, because they'll probably keep the manual. You know, the manual's probably along with the cartridge that they're mismatched. But that's probably in a little wallet behind the thing. So once that disappears off the shelf, they're left with that, which is obviously is useless to them. So what do? They're going and reprinting one. Is it legal? Is it right? I don't know. I'm not here to question that. What I would debate and really question is one of the stories that someone mentioned, that they bought a DS game. This is a DS game. This is a DS case. They took it to the till. They paid for it. They took it home, and then on close inspection realised that it wasn't cut right. It was you know, all off-centered or jaggedy or whatever. They then proceeded to take out the insert, and on the inside had CEX printed on the inside. So now I'm not, you know, questioning anyone's eyesight or judgment, but as a game collector, as a retro game collector and player, etc., if I was to look at an insert, 9 times out of 10, like you guys there can tell that's an American because it's got the E. So you know it's either a fake or it's incorrect. Equally, you would look at it and you could tell from the print if it was any good. You're in the shop, you're looking at this thing now. You would open it up. It's just habit. It's like muscle memory. The DS cases are clear. If the CEX sticker was there, you would see it. Even with that in there, you would see the CEX logo. That story doesn't make sense. It's a made-up story. It's I don't know what, I don't know. What I'm saying is, most people, anybody worth the salt, even if you're in CEX, you would not just randomly pick up the case and wander to the counter and buy the game and then look at it afterwards. Doesn't make sense, that doesn't. So, fake cases, no. Reproduction inserts, yes. I say, legally, the legality around it, I don't know. I'm not here to argue the point. What I'm saying is the reasoning behind it. It does make sense. Is it right? No. Would I accept them? No. But you take them back. This is, you know, from all of these things the videos I've watched, the main thing I keep saying in my head is just take it back. Take it back. In store you have 48 hours. So in store you really shouldn't be taking stuff back if you think it's fake, because you should be checking it in the store anyway. Maybe if your mum or dad bought it, that's probably given. You can just take it back. They'll give you your money back. Online you have 14 days. Online you are buying blind. I've said it in all my previous videos for them that may not have seen me before. You know, I've been buying and selling from CEX for many years now. And yeah, I've had more misses than hits. Honestly, it's a numbers game. That's why I named it the CEX Roulette, or CEX Roulette of Death, because that's what it is. You don't always land on black or red or whatever your choosing is. Sometimes they're just crap, and they go back. And if I order 10 games, 8 of them go back, 9 times out of 10. Honestly, but you have to. And it's probably the wrong word to use, but you have to play the game with CEX. Now, some people will probably say, oh, I shouldn't have to play the game. God damn it, I'm a consumer, and etc, etc. Get that, 100% get that. But to say they're counterfeiting it and they're doing it on purpose and they're trying to rip you off on purpose, I think's probably stretching it a little bit too far. Why would they want to do that? Why would they jeopardise their business? Makes no sense. And the other point that I've seen mentioned is fake boxes. So this probably pertains more to, you know, your snares, anything cardboard, Game Boy Advance, stuff like that. So are people accusing CEX again of, you know, obtaining, I'm going to use this as a prop, it's not the correct one, but, you know, a loose Game Boy cartridge and then printing boxes and gluing them together, and then they're not going to do that, are they? Come on, give your heads a wobble. They're not going to do that. What's happened there, and what it's probably still happening as we speak, is that they're taking in fake or reproductions. Okay, that's all. That is what it is. And a chap on one of the Facebook groups I'm on hit the nail on the head. Us collectors now are reaping the whirlwind from the casual retro gamer who's gone onto AliExpress, gone onto all these other sites, bought these reproductions that people have been creating, and they're cashing them into CEX because the staff aren't trained properly. 100% hands up, I would admit that, and you know, as much as I'm sort of trying to champion their corner, that is a massive flaw in the business model. The staff aren't properly trained, especially not in terms of retro stuff. Huge gap. It's being exploited, and that's what it is. It's the exploitation of the system. It's not CEX buying job lots from AliExpress and pumping them through the store. It's not going to happen. It wouldn't happen. They're biting at this, you know, biting their nose off to spite their face if they did that. It's no, just no. Think through the process. I even had one guy comment on my video sort of saying, oh, CEX, they're printing off their own labels for SNES games. No, it was somewhat daft, like, oh, peel the label off because it's got CEX behind the label. No, it hasn't. They're not doing that. Why would they do that? They've got to take the game in first. They're not going to take a blank cartridge in now. They're not going to take a blank SNES cartridge in with no label on, and someone says, oh, that's Secret of Mana. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll go and print a label off for it. No, that's not going to happen. That doesn't happen. The label's fake because it's been bought in as fake, as a reproduction. Okay? They're not buying them. They wouldn't do that. It wouldn't make any sense for them to do that. So I don't want the video to go on too long. I've probably skipped some of the points that have been raised in other videos. I say I haven't looked through them all. They seem to be the main gripes you know, that people have got. I think it's more referencing maybe the retro stuff and the DS and 3DS type of games. I think there was one video some guy was on about a PS3 game, had a fake insert. Yeah, probably had, but it did have. Just take it back. I can understand it a little bit more from the retro side because some of these games are really, really expensive. I think one was Panzer Dragoon Saga, cardboard out sleeve. Yeah, it's a reproduction. Someone's bought it and they've put their games inside it. Just take it back. It's a lot of money, definitely. I've been in that boat, you know. I've bought expensive games and have turned out fake. I've bought relatively cheapish games and have turned out fake. I wanted to note, as on the Mega Drive, was Mega Games 6 Volume 3. Notoriously hard to find back in the day, early days of retro game collecting. So what people have done when CEX come on board was technically loose cartridge that you find to a penny, and they've printed a very poor insert, and you can see the inserts are fake from a mile off. It just went back. Didn't bother me. I kind of half expected it, to be honest. And I think that's what you've got to do. You've got to manage your expectations with CEX. They're not an Amazon, right? So the QC, the quality control isn't there. Should it be there? Most definitely should be there. But there's so much negativity around the whole thing. Where's the positive? Where's you know, constructive criticism? That's what they need. They don't need people bashing it. And it just leads me on to my next sort of quandary. Like, I don't understand what the gain is from this. What's the end game? So some of these people that have been making these videos are, by their own definition, retro gamers or retro game collectors. So I'm one of those people. I've got many friends that are the same, and I've had people that have contacted me quite worried. Oh, if I buy from CEX, everything's fake. No, it's not, and it's been blown out of proportion. Really has. But it does lead me to think, I don't understand why these people are making these videos. So prior to CEX, nationwide, you know, selling retro, you know, and dealing with retro, it was very much limited to the franchisees, and that was at their own discretion. And then obviously they went nationwide with it, probably due to it being so popular, and maybe because those stores were being quite successful. So prior to CEX, all you really had was your independent stores, your little indie shops, which, if you're lucky enough, there's one close to you. If you're not, tough shit, because you're not going to bear to buy any retro, or eBay. Right, so eBay has its own faults, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff that's referenced here against CEX can be labelled and lambasted against eBay also. But what CEX allows you to do, and this is the clincher for me, is it gives you that opportunity or that ability to weigh in some of the other stuff, what I would class as fodder, if you watch my videos, your PS3 stuff, your Xbox 360 stuff, the Wii stuff, that is still obtainable in Facebook groups, in charity shops, in your cash converters, and you can weigh that in against some retro stuff that is harder to find, offsets the costs, brings it down, brings retro to the masses. Now, is that what these people's problems is? Because CEX are opening up retro to the masses, they don't like it? Is it a jealousy thing because some of these rare and hard to find games are surfacing now? I don't know. Ask yourself the question, what's the purpose? What's the end game? Because as a retro game collector myself, my God, CEX has been like an absolute godsend. I've built 3 full sets off the back of CEX. I've built my N64, I've built my GameCube, I've built my Sega Saturn. Already had my Master System set prior to CEX. But they've been a godsend. I've built, currently going through and, you know, piecing together a Mega Drive set. Why would anybody who's into retro gaming want to sever that supply line? I don't understand it. It makes no sense. Other than you want to keep it an elitist club. There's going to be some people that use CEX who actually love them as I do, that are probably telling me to shut the hell up now. Tootie, stop talking, because they don't want you to know the secret. They don't want you to know what a little gold mine is, and it is. Because it honestly, if you use it correctly, you'll see it in a different light. So I'm coming at this from a, you know, like I say, a retro side. It may be different for people that are looking at current gen stuff. I don't know, because I don't current gen game. I'm just taking the arguments as I see them and putting them into context from me as a retro gamer, and you know, as in real world terms, not legal jargon or anything like that. So yeah, probably the last point, and I think this is really the key one for me. It feeds onto the point I just raised there. CEX have the ability to tap in to a market that no one's been able to do for many years now, and that's, you know, that high street mum and dad, or you know, sort of single adolescents or whatever you want to call it, walking into a shop, seeing Mega Drive, seeing retro there, and thinking, actually, I've got some of them in the loft. I need a new iPhone. They bring in their retro, they get an iPhone. It's putting those games back into the market. You know, and I don't know what I say. I don't know what the end game of these people think the end game's going to be. But if CEX turn around and go, you know what, we're going to scrap doing retro. It's too much like hardware. We're getting too much flack for it. Forget about it. That'll be a really sad day. And some of these people should hang their heads in shame, because I'll tell you what, you're not going to be. There's never going to be another stall that's going to be able to do that. Yeah, you might get the odd crack converters here and there, and obviously Game Electronics Boutique, they're long gone. And it'd be real shame if these people, yeah, and if you encourage these people to do these videos as well. You take CEX for what it is. You take eBay for what it is. You know, a lot of people now understand and have adopted or just got used to or work around the flaws in eBay. CEX, you know, there's a lot of work to do there. There's no doubt about it. But going around making videos accusing them of being scammers and frauds and all that kind of stuff, I think it's not needed. Constructive criticism, stop the negativity around it all. It's just daft. You know, and I say, if you use it correctly and you use it to your advantage, it's a gold mine. Really is. Take it easy, YouTube, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.